Okay. All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another legal investigations where I talk about all things legal. Suffice to say. So basically, for today, we'll be talking about TikTok specifically and its terms of service. So I don't think no one knows what TikTok is, but I guess a brief explanation is the internet. Quite literally, I think there's like how many people are watching, how many people are using TikTok nowadays. I'm in internet age. I'm really old, so I have no idea. 1 billion active users. Yeah, so this is a pretty huge website in terms of engagement, in terms of activity and such. So yeah, why I say it's internet? So it's because it's literally everything, anything that can be found in TikTok. Although the things that are posted in here are limited in a sense that it's most likely going to be short videos and such. A lot of it's going to be trending stuff, of dances, of edits and such, but not much, news, educational stuff. But there are people do make educational videos on TikTok. I want to do it, but it's very difficult to try to manage several social media platforms by yourself, right? TikTok, it's very hard to convert my content into TikTok. In the sense that I have a lot of things to talk about. I made a lot of different variety of content, and what should I be filling my TikTok videos, TikTok profile, TikTok account with, In any case, so that's the thing. A lot of people are using it, but I'm assuming not a lot of people. Majority of people. It's always like it's going to be like this. Majority of people do not read any of the legal documents when they create an account, when they do anything with it, when they upload upload videos or anything. They don't read it. So, of course, someone has to, right? Someone has to provide this sort of resource, I would say, if people are somehow interested in looking into terms of service, understanding all these legal documents and what it is all about. And maybe there are some things that are important for you to know about, but we'll see. Regardless, this live seminar is most likely going to be a read through of the entire thing. All right, so I won't be able to skip much if I want to thoroughly analyze all the terms and conditions and see if there's any problem with it or not. So yeah, so this is my profile, but there's just to look at it. Interestingly enough, I know how to access this access the terms of service via our website. I don't know how to access it via the mobile phone. It's not really intuitive if I want to look at all this stuff, right? The community guidelines maybe, or things are technical, right? So apparently, at least in the website, you can look through the terms of service over here on this sidebar here, which you can scroll down to it here, and there's the terms of service down here, as you can see, and I already opened it. And here it is, terms of service, right? I probably should explain this as I go on, but yeah, it's legally binding, just so you know, everyone. It's legally binding where whenever you use I would assume whenever you just use TikTok services, you're legally bound by this terms of service. I believe multi-billion-dollar company would have covered this technical issue whether or not this document binds you. So in any case, let's read through it. And of course, since this is it's a worldwide app that people use, not all countries would follow the same service, same TOS. As you can see over here, it says if you are not in the US EEA, I'm assuming that's a European Union of sorts, or might be wrong. Let me just Google search this. Yes, European Economic Area. All right, the United Kingdom, Switzerland, or India. Very specific. Very specific. So if you want to check out that, put it over here. Other regions. So they have different documents for different regions. We'll go through other regions first, then we'll like quickly glance through what's the differences with the other ones, right? Okay, so good thing they put here, they have a timestamp or date stamp for this legal document. It was last updated February 2021. Interesting. So it has been the same since last year, but it's still quite not last year, 2 years. It's been 2 years. Man, time do fly fast. And of course, let's continue. General terms, all users. Your relationship with us. Okay. I didn't think you can put it that way. Relationship with us. Welcome to TikTok. Brackets, the platform, which is provided by TikTok Limited, private and limited, or one of its affiliates, TikTok, we or us. If you are reading the terms of service, the terms which govern the relationship and serve as an agreement between you and us, and set forth the terms and conditions by which you may access and use the platform and our related websites, services, applications, and products, and content, collectively the services. All right, our services are provided for private, non-commercial use. For purposes of these terms, you and your means, you as the user of the services. The terms form a legally binding agreement between you and us. Please take the time to read them carefully. Alright, so right off the bat, I want to highlight this. Apparently, this is not something... Oh, I can't highlight it. I don't know why. It just doesn't want me to highlight. Not a lot of websites does this, but explicitly at least. Immediately they tell you they only provide all this stuff, TikTok content or service, for the purposes of private and non-commercial use. What does that mean though? What does it exactly mean? Our services. Yeah, if I read this literally, it means if you are using TikTok, you can't use it for commercial purposes. But people do use it for commercial purposes. Correct? I mean, maybe you won't... I have no idea whether you can actually monetize TikTok content, but I believe you can't. I've never really heard of people being like an affiliate or partner of TikTok. So that's something. I think it more or less it's like Instagram, where there's not exactly like a monetization feature by the app. So I guess that is true, but you technically can use it to advertise your product, your services, and that would mean commercial use though, right? Weird, very weird. Anyhow, yes, legally binding agreement between you and us. Please take the time to read them carefully. Always, always. Fun fact, in a professional contract or terms and conditions, they never tell you to read them carefully, right? Or that it is a legally binding agreement. Most of the time we assume that it is a legally binding agreement, and the only statement that would be put in a contract, standard contract, would be you agree to the terms and conditions, more or less like that. It won't tell you, yep, this is a legal contract, it is enforceable, blah blah blah. No, it's tell you agree to the terms and conditions, and you sign off on the document. Right. Section 2. Accepting the terms. By accessing or using our services, you confirm that you can form a binding contract with TikTok, that you accept these terms and that you agree to comply with them. Your access to and use of our services is also subject to our privacy policy and community guidelines, the terms of which can be found directly on the platform or where the platform is made available for download, or your mobile device's applicable app store, and are incorporated herein by reference. By using the services, you consent to the terms of the privacy policy. Right, so again, of course, by reading this, you have to agree to it, by implication of you using these services. But at the same time, I believe when you create or register an account, they will also tell you to read the terms of service as well, to agree to it as well. So there's that, all right? Nothing really major. But of course, they also mentioned specific to documents over here. Probably there are more documents as highlighted in red that you have to follow as well, all right? You are legally bound by. So they have the privacy policy as well as the community guidelines, which most likely I will go through the community guidelines, right? Sometime in the future. We'll see what exactly you can post, can do in TikTok. And from what I understand, TikTok do takedowns or all that stuff, copyright strikes maybe, but we'll see exactly what are the rules and such in the future. For now, we're just going to look at using TikTok in its most base form or such. Let me drink a bit first. So yeah, so far nothing of special interest yet to need to get some sort of attention to. Alright, if you access or use the services from within a jurisdiction for which there are separate supplemental terms, users have hereby agreed to supplemental terms applicable to users in each jurisdiction as outlined below. In the event of a conflict between the provisions of the supplemental terms, jurisdiction specific, they are relevant to your jurisdiction from which you access or use the services, and the rest of these terms. Relevant jurisdictions, supplemental terms, jurisdiction specific, will supersede and control. If you do not agree to these terms, you must not access or use our services. I'm assuming this is yeah. They are talking about the regions. Meaning to say, I am now reading through the terms of service for other regions. And this is, I guess, in a sense, supplemental term. There might be supplemental terms specific to each different regions somewhere, but it's not stated here. And is supplemental terms supersede, which is a thing, right? Which is a thing you can do when you draft a contract. You can say things that are conflicting with each other, but given some sort of like exceptional conditions, exceptional situations, you can put in a term that it conflicts, but also say it only applies during this situation, something like that. So for our context, for our purposes here, it means different countries have different laws, and things would have to be additionally complied with or and such, right? So that the terms and conditions would be different. Now here, if you are accessing or using the services on behalf of a business or entity, then A, you and your includes you and that business or entity. B, you represent and warrant that you are an authorized representative of the business or entity with the authority to bind the entity to these terms, and what you agree to these terms on the entity's behalf. And C, your business or entity is legally and financially responsible for access or use of the services, as well for the access or use of your account by others affiliated with your entity, including any employees, agents, or contractors. Well, simple enough. TikToks aren't just being used by individuals, people, human. It is also used by entities that represent a group of people. Sometimes companies, sometimes non-profit organizations, sometimes just, associations or societies or whatever you want to call it, a group of people. So whenever this group of people make some sort of like a TikTok account for whatever reason, maybe they are also a government body. I have no idea whether government departments from around the world uses TikTok. Even if they do use it, they probably use it for casual purposes, nothing serious. As I know, at least in Malaysia, politicians use TikTok as a way to campaign their stuff or give awareness to certain issues that is affecting the country. So that's that. But also they do make TikTok trending videos as well, which is cringe. But they have to engage with the younger audience, I guess, younger generation that uses TikTok. They are aware of what's going on with the country. But good things about it, and there are bad things about it. But I would say it's mostly a pro for me. The pros outweigh the cons. But in any case, moving on. You can accept the terms by accessing or using our services. You understand and agree that we will treat your access or use of services as acceptance of the terms from that point onwards. You should print off or save a local copy of the terms for your records. Right. So again, they're just repeating the things they say. Yeah, you agree, you agree, you agree. Well, I have no idea why they're like so... They are repetitive with this though. You don't have to like keep on saying you agree, you agree, you agree. Anyhow, so clause 3 or section 3, changes to the terms. The unfair term that you will usually see in any of these sort of documents. We amend these terms from time to time. For instance, when we update the functionality of our services, when we combine multiple apps or services operated by us or our affiliates into a single combined service or app, or when there are regulatory changes. We will use commercially reasonable efforts to generally notify all users of any material changes to these terms, such as through a notice on our platform. However, you should look at the terms regularly to check for such changes. We will also update the last updated date at the top of these terms, which reflect the effective date of such terms. Your continued access or use of the services after the date of the new terms constitutes your acceptance of the new terms. If you do not agree to the new terms, you must stop accessing or using the services. Well, at least they are very clear that they can change the notice, and somehow they are trying to provide some sort of transparency in terms of notifying people of the changes. But other than that, just telling you they can change and will change, and the thing they will help you with is telling you that it has been changed. They don't require your agreement with the changes, right? So yeah, if you think this is unfair, I would say this is standard because of how this is as a app that is being used by the entire world. You can't expect that the terms and conditions to remain the same forever, and it is also impractical for the company or for TikTok to try and get all the people to agree to this. There's no need for that, and most likely not everyone's going to agree to the changes, or even look at the changes. It's an impossible task. Impossible task is what I'm trying to say. But let's say, right, if you have your own personal contracts or personal agreements with people that you made, don't agree to this too easily, right? This is not something that is common in personal agreements, like when you're buying a house, when you're buying a car, or getting a job. This is totally a term that you should not accept. All right, now let's move on. Section 4. Your account with us. To access or use some of our services, you must create an account with us. When you create this account, you must provide accurate and up-to-date information. It is important that you maintain and promptly update your details and any other information you provide to us to keep such information current and complete. Right? I think this is all really technical stuff. I don't see any problems with it, but I'll just read through all of it. It is important that you keep your account password confidential and that you do not disclose it to any third party. If you know or suspect that any third party knows your password or has access to your account, you must notify us immediately at tiktok.com legal report blah 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 blah. If you agree that you are solely responsible to us and to others for the activity that occurs under your account, we reserve the right to disable your user account anytime, including if you fail to comply with any provisions of these terms, or if activities occur on your account which in our sole discretion would or might cause damage to or impair the services or infringe or violate any third-party rights or violate any applicable laws or regulations. If you no longer want to use our services again and would like your account deleted, contact us at We will provide you with further assistance and guide you through the process. Once you choose to delete your account, you will not be able to reactivate your account or retrieve any of the content or information you have added. So that's, they're telling you that everything you do with your TikTok account is your responsibility. Fair enough? And whatever things that might, negatively affect TikTok or breach the contracts, basically, breach the terms of service, and they will take actions against your account, right? Whether or not they want to terminate you or not, these are the things they can do, right? But simple enough, nothing really to be concerned. As long as you don't do anything stupid, you'll be fine. Right. Section 5. Your access to and use of our services. Your access to and use of the services is subject to these terms and all applicable laws and regulations. You may not access or use the services if you are fully able and legally competent to agree to these terms. Oh yeah, something I noticed, but I'll talk about it in a bit. Make unauthorized copies, modify, adapt, translate, reverse engineer, disassemble, decompile, or create any derivative works of the services of any content included therein, including any files, tables, or documentation, or any portion thereof, or determine or attempt to determine any source code, algorithms, methods, or techniques embodied by these services, or any derivative works thereof. Alright, so the first two, this one, is basically telling you can't use this if you can't be legally bound by the terms of service. And what would that situation be, right? Fully able and legally competent. Well, this is dependent on countries' laws, but the most basic one is minors would not be bound by terms and conditions in a lot of situations. Because they are still under the guardianship of a parent or someone who is a parent figure. and most likely whatever legal decisions they have to make is up to the parents or the guardian, right? That's one thing. Or people who are incapable of making any decisions because of mental illnesses or mental disorders or something like that impairs their mind to agree to accept these things or understand these terms and conditions, right? Whether or not you have those such people have some sort of a expert or some person to consult to understand these terms and conditions. This is basically law, just depending on what law, right? But basically it would say something like that if this person is in this such condition, they are incapable of accepting any terms and conditions or making any sort of legally binding relationship with someone. It would be something like that. Famous example or famous situation that would likely happen in this case is, it's not relevant, but just fun to know, is wills, right? When people pass away, and if they leave some estate, they leave some assets, inheritance and such, and including a will, that will, most of the time, if it's contested, one of the grounds that will be contested would be that the person who made the will is of not sound mind, right? When they were getting it down, drafting it, or agreeing to it, accepting the terms inside the will, they are not clear. They are not, probably due to old age or something like that. That they can't really understand what they are accepting or what they are doing. So it will make a will null and void if it's proven to be true, right? So those are the situations, well, where some sort of like legal document could become unenforceable because of the person's mental state during the time when it was made, right? But if the person was, fine, healthy and everything and made the will, and everything else is in compliance as well, then there won't be any problem, even if afterwards, when the person passes away, or before they pass away, they were like really, really unwell mentally and such. It wouldn't matter. It wouldn't affect the will. Anyhow, that's a bit of a tangent. Let's go back. But of course, we have these long sentences of talking about, I think, kind of like trying to use the app, use TikTok for other purposes by other people, maybe hackers, maybe I would say hackers or tech savvy people who are able to reconstruct, reverse engineer, modify the app for whatever reason. This is very common. Apparently I see this also on Twitch, I believe, YouTube as well, and Twitter. Distribute a license, transfer or sell in whole or in part any of the services or any derivative works thereof. I guess this means... this would mean trying to sell people TikTok services. I don't think that's it's a likely situation. The most I can think of is getting sponsorship or helping people advertise some sort of product, company, service using TikTok. But this sounds more like referring to selling people TikToks as a services itself, which I feel like is impossible. Other than, of course, you are selling your TikTok account. And yes, if you're selling a TikTok account, then that's something that this would cover. You can't transfer or sell the service because it's including your account. Whatever you do in TikTok is inclusive of being referred to as the services. All right. Market, rent, or lease the services for a fee or charge, or use the services to advertise or perform any commercial solicitation. Oh, wait. So for the above doesn't mean what I was trying to say about advertising, but this one, market, rent, or lease the services for a fee or charge, or use the services to advertise or perform any commercial solicitation. Oh, I wonder if a lot of people actually do that though. I feel like, yes, people do that. This is interesting. I did not know about this. I did not know that you can't use TikTok to advertise or perform any commercial solicitation. Meaning to say you can't help if you're like a quote-unquote influencer or content creator like myself, you can't go and say, hey, this is a sponsorship, blah blah blah. I'm trying to advertise this product to you, and if you buy this, you'll get some sort of discount, blah blah blah. Apparently, you can't do that. At least from what I can see, this is not really up to debate or discussion, as I can see. Market, rent, or lease the services for a fee or charge. Yeah, it's like, yep. Whether you're getting paid to advertise something or not, doesn't change the fact that you can't do it for a commercial purpose, right? Yes, you definitely can't do this for directly, I guess, for monetary considerations. Even if it's without that, because they put it, or use the services to advertise or perform any commercial solicitation. Right. So yeah, the more you know, apparently. Now I'm wondering whether or not Instagram allows this. All right, I'll actually look into Instagram now, because I'm an internet old man and I use Instagram more than TikTok, even though the things that is being posted in TikTok is also posted in Instagram. All right. Use the services without or express written consent for any commercial or unauthorized purpose, including communicating or facilitating any commercial advertisement or solicitation or spamming. Yep, they're very expressive on this, and you can't use this for advertisement. Apparently, how do they make money though? Are they? Oh, I guess they do have. You can't make commercials on your own. You have to go through TikTok to make commercials. I guess that would make more sense if they have these terms and conditions here. They don't want you to do it on your own. They want you to do it through their app, like YouTube, I guess. But then YouTube doesn't really have a term like this. You can directly plug in ads through YouTube. Yes, that's correct. But okay. Weird. That's all I'm going to say. Interfere with or attempt to interfere with the proper working of the services. Disrupt all website or any networks connected to the service, or bypass any measures we may use to prevent or restrict access to the services. So yeah, this is more or less hacking. Incorporate these services or any portion thereof into other program or product. In such case, we reserve the right to refuse service, terminate accounts, or limit access to the services in our sole discretion. So if they found out you're like trying to clone TikTok and you have a TikTok account with them, I guess they can do that, but probably they'll do much more than removing your account. They'll probably sue you. Use automated scripts to collect information, otherwise interact with services. This is like hacking, botting. Impersonate any person or entity, or falsely state or otherwise misrepresent you or your affiliation with any person or entity, including giving the impression that any content you upload, post, transmit, distribute, or otherwise make available emanates from the services. I see. So they are very explicit in terms of you can't pretend to be someone, right? But I'm not sure about parody, parody, satire, like making jokes of a person by pretending to be them would be considered under this, would be a breach under this term. Maybe not, because that is something that I don't think any website can determine, really. If people wanted to sue for impersonation or like that, anything like that, because of defamation, they can. Intimidate or harass another, or promote sexually explicit material, violence or discrimination based on race, sex, religion, nationality, disability, sexual orientation, or age. Alright, okay. This is simple, but I'm guessing this is going to be elaborated in the community guidelines. But it's good they put in here at least. Progressive. I mean, TikTok has to be progressive. I think that a big portion of the investor comes from conservative parties. But yeah. Use or attempt to use another's account, service, or system without authorization from TikTok, or create a false identity on the services. The user attempt to use another's account. Okay, so yeah, hijacking another person's account. Use the services in a manner that may create a conflict of interest or undermine the purposes of these services, such as trading reviews with other users or writing or soliciting fake reviews. Hey Raika, thank you for the lurk. Welcome. Hope your stream was good. Oh my. Alright, again, these are all things you can't do on TikTok. Alright, all things you can't do on TikTok. Apparently, I guess this is like a summarized version of what you can do and can't do, putting in the terms of service, because they will be all expanded in the community guidelines. Right. Use the services to upload, transmit, distribute, store, or otherwise make available in any way files that contain viruses, trojans, worms, logic bombs, or other material that is malicious or technologically harmful. Any unsolicited or unauthorized advertising, solicitations, promotional materials, junk mail, spam, chain letters, pyramid schemes, or any other prohibited form of solicitation. Any private information of any third party, including the addresses, phone numbers, email addresses, number, and feature in the person identity document. Example, national insurance numbers, passport numbers, or credit card numbers. So you can't put in this sort of private information. Oh, wait. Are they saying that? Yeah, they are saying you can't upload, transmit, distribute, store, or otherwise make available in any way. Oh, any private information of any third party. Alright. Third party. Yes, referring to third party. Meaning say not your own things. So not your own address, not your own phone numbers, email addresses, number, and feature in the personal identity document. Yeah. This makes much more sense. If you can't put your personal information in your own account, it'd be so weird. Any material which does or may infringe any copyright, trademark, or other intellectual property or privacy rights of any other person. Right, so this is clear. It is standard. Any material which is defamatory of any person, obscene, offensive, pornographic, hateful, or inflammatory. Okay, understandable. Any material that would constitute, encourage, or provide instructions for a criminal offense, dangerous activities, or self-harm. Any material that is deliberately designed to provoke or antagonize people, especially trolling and bullying, or is intended to harass, harm, hurt, scare, distress, embarrass or upset people. They are very thorough, at least, literal as well, right? Provoke or antagonize people, especially trolling and bullying. But what exactly though? Trolling and bullying can be considered. They don't really have a definition for it. It's like internet language though, right? Trolling. Bullying, I understand. Trolling, there's a lot of different kind of trolling. Any material that may contain threats of any kind, including physical violence. Any material that is racist or discriminatory, including discrimination on the basis of someone's race, religion, age, gender, disability, or sexuality. Right. TikTok's very progressive, apparently. But that doesn't stop people from putting stuff there. It isn't progressive, I guess. That's the thing. I don't use TikTok a lot, so I have no idea how effective or how serious do they enforce these rules or terms and conditions. Any answers, responses, comments, opinions, analysis, or recommendations that you are not properly licensed or otherwise qualified to provide. Material that in the sole judgment of TikTok is objectionable or which restricts or inhibits any other person from using the services, or which may expose TikTok, the services of its users, to any harm or liability of any type. In addition to the above, your access to and use of the services must at all times be compliant with our community guidelines. We reserve the right at any time and without prior notice to remove or disable access to content at our discretion for any reason or no reason. Some of the reasons we may remove or disable access to content may include finding the content objectionable, in violation of these terms or our community guidelines, or otherwise harmful to the services of our users. Our automated systems analyze your content to provide you personally relevant product features, such as customized search results, tailored advertising, and spam and malware detection. This analysis occurs as the content is sent, received, and when it is stored. Right. So, at least from what this entire thing, this entire section 5 is saying, it makes it sound that this TikTok is a very, very safe space for people that are targeted. But I don't know. I have not heard praises of TikTok on this topic or this subject much. Maybe because I I don't use TikTok much. I don't have a lot of people who do use TikTok as well, friends and such. So yeah, I wish I had, so I have some context, some sort of like anecdotal evidence to how TikTok is performing, but unfortunate. It's unfortunate. But anyways, on face value, at least within the terms of service, they are very protective, all right, of anyone that is using the services on many areas at least. Section 6, intellectual property rights. We respect intellectual property rights and ask you to do the same. As a condition of your access to and use of the services, you agree to not use the services to infringe on any intellectual property rights. We reserve the right, with or without notice, at any time and in our sole discretion, to block access and or terminate the account of any user who infringes or is alleged to infringe any copyrights or other intellectual property rights. Right, very fair. They don't say anything exploitable, like can be taken advantage of. Like all your things, all your content is considered to be usable by us, it's licensed to us. Maybe it'll be down here and there, but at least over here they're telling you, among users at least, you can't commit copyright infringements among users. Right, section 7, content. All right, this is probably a huge clause. A, TikTok content. It's between you and TikTok. All content, software, images, text, graphics, illustrations, logos, patents, trademarks, service marks, copyrights, photographs, audio, videos, music, on and look and feel of the services, and all intellectual property rights related thereto. The TikTok content. That's a lot of things. And so what is look and feel of the services? This is a really strange way to say things that I have no idea how to interpret this. I guess similar would be more appropriate. Similar or closeness. No, not closeness. Duplicate. Anyhow, look and feel doesn't really... What is look and feel? I have no idea. Why are you using this? Are either owned by license by TikTok. Owned or licensed by TikTok. It being understood that you or your licenses will own any user content. As defined below, you upload or transmit through the services. Use of TikTok content or materials of the services for any purpose thus expressly permitted by these terms is strictly prohibited. Such content may not be downloaded, copied, reproduced, distributed, transmitted, broadcast, displayed, sold, licensed, or otherwise exploited for any purpose whatsoever without our or where applicable, our licenses prior written consent. I think this is very hard to enforce, and it's very hard. They're trying to say that you can't post anything that is found in TikTok, whether it belongs to TikTok or not, at other places. But it is being done, I believe, at least I think so, unless they... you see a lot of TikTok videos on Reddit, right? I believe a lot of them are uploaded on Reddit rather than being shared via TikTok to Reddit. So yeah, I would say this is a very difficult thing, even though they put it in here, but practically speaking, it's not really enforceable. You acknowledge and agree that we may generate revenues, increase goodwill, or otherwise increase our value from your use of the services, including by way of example, not limitation, to the sale of advertising, sponsorships, promotions, usage data, and gifts. So what are gifts? Does TikTok have some sort of live service system? Service? Defined and explained further in virtual items policy. I'm really not familiar with TikTok services other than, post videos. And except as specifically permitted by us in this term or in another agreement you enter into with us, you will have no right to share in any such revenue, goodwill, or values whatsoever. You further acknowledge that except as specifically permitted by us in these terms or in another agreement you enter into with us, you 1. Have no right to receive any income or other consideration from any user content defined below, or use of any musical works, sound recordings, or audio-visual clips made available to you or on through the services, including in any user content created by you. Yeah, because TikTok, they probably have the rights to all the music that is being used over there, so that it's possible to make all these sort of trending videos with copyrighted music by all the users. Maybe not. 2. Are prohibited from exercising any rights to monetize or obtaining consideration for any user content within the services or on any third-party service. Example, you cannot claim user content has been uploaded to a social media platform such as YouTube for monetization. I guess they are saying, what they are saying is, when you post things on YouTube, you post things on TikTok, you can't use the same video on YouTube. But that's really not up to TikTok to decide, really, right? If let's say, you cannot claim music content that has been uploaded to social media for monetization. Prohibitable exercising any rights to monetize or obtains consideration of any user content within the services or any third-party service. The way this is worded tells me that it works retrospectively. Right? There's no clarification on this, meaning, say, if you upload the same video in YouTube as well as in TikTok, exactly the same, right? It's prohibited by TikTok. So yeah, I've seen this happen with other I think I've heard of this. Like they did, at least for Twitch, right? Twitch says they have some sort of they have the exclusivity clause where you can't stream something and then upload it on YouTube or other places within 24 hours of at the end of the stream. So, but with this one, there's no time limit, no nothing, so you can't do anything. If this is the case, I don't think I want to do. I don't know. The way this is worded, yes, you can't do that. But how would TikTok know, right? How does TikTok enforce this? Probably against famous content creators, but other than that, no idea how they would enforce this. Right? Because they aren't exactly have any sort of like a bargaining power against people who use TikTok, because they don't. Again, I'm not sure whether they have monetization features or not, but I don't think so. TikTok shouldn't have any monetization features other than maybe ads or something. So yeah, subject to the terms and conditions of the terms, you are hereby granted a non-exclusive, limited, non-transferable, non-licensed sublicensable, revocable worldwide license to access. Oh, they have the word revocable, to access and use the services, including to download the platform on a typical device and to access the TikTok content solely for your personal non-commercial use through your use of the services and solely in compliance with these terms. TikTok reserves all rights not expressly granted herein in the services and the TikTok content. You acknowledge and agree that TikTok may terminate this license at any time for any reason or no reason. Yeah, so very biased. At least over here they are holding some sort of like a power against people. If they don't like you, they can easily use this and ban you, remove your account, disable your account. So yeah, this is one of those unfair terms over here, people, over here. Right. No rights are licensed with respect to sound recordings and the musical works embodied therein that are made available from or through the service. Yeah. You acknowledge and agree that when you view content provided by others on the services, you are doing so at your own risk. The content on our services is provided for general information only. It is not intended to amount to advice on which you should rely. You must obtain professional or specialist advice before taking or refraining from any action on the basis of the content on our services. This is true for anything and everywhere, including my own channel, right? Including my own stream. If you're watching this and all that stuff, yes, it may be educational, informative, but again, if we are mature, I need to change this. The only song that I don't like in the entire Grey Ace Attorney OST is that song because it's so out of place. Anyhow, so yeah, don't just listen to me on anything, right? we are all mature people, I would say, regardless of age. We are all capable of thinking thoroughly on matters, capable of critical thinking. If we can, if you wanted to, and that involves doing your own consideration of all things, of all factors that maybe I haven't covered, maybe I haven't considered, I haven't told you about, right? Even if, let's say, you are really reluctant to do your own research, right? Think carefully on whatever you want to believe in, you want to pursue, or you want to take a stance on, right? That is why, one of the not why, there's one of the things I'm trying to help people with is think for your own benefits, with all the considerations, with all the factors, with all the facts, perspectives, all that, then only make your decisions. We make no representations, warranties, or guarantees, whether express or imply, that any TikTok content, including user content, is accurate, complete, or up to date. Where our services contain links to other sites and resources provided by third parties, these links are provided for your information only. We have no control over the contents of those sites or resources. Such links should not be interpreted as approval of such or those linked websites or information you may obtain from them. You acknowledge that we have no obligation to pre-screen, monitor, review, or edit any content posted by you and other users on the services, including user content. Yep, so basically they're telling you they are not promising you anything, they are not saying anything of any facts is true or false, true or false. It's basically that. And also not responsible for anything we do and say or make in TikTok. Right, B. Man, we're almost only halfway through. User-generated content. Users of the service may be permitted to upload, post, or transmit, such as via a stream, or otherwise make available content through the services, including, without limitation, any text, photographs, users' videos, sound recordings, the musical works embodied therein, including videos that incorporate locally stored sound recordings from your personal music library and ambient noise. Users of the services may also extract all or any portion of the user content created by another user to produce additional user content, including collaborative user content with other users that combine and intersperse user content generated by more than one user. Alright, so over here they are telling you what is considered user content, but for us, for our understanding, it means everything. Whatever we put inside on TikTok is considered user content. Users of the services may also overlay music, graphics, stickers, virtual items, as defined and further explained in the virtual items policy, and other elements provided by TikTok elements, onto this user content and transmit this user content through the services. I'm guessing this is like the logo or whatever end scene whenever a person uploads videos on TikTok. The information and materials in the user content, including user content, includes TikTok elements, have not been verified or approved by us. The views expressed by other users on the services, including true use of the virtual gifts, do not represent our views or values. Whenever you access or use a feature that allows you to upload or transmit user content through the services, including via certain third-party social media platforms such as Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, or to make contact with other users of the services, you must comply with the standards set out at your access to and our use of our services above. They are trying to have power over you on other websites, but I don't know. Again, very biased. I'm not even sure if you can really enforce these things. Because, yeah, I mean, all said and done, right? Even if, let's say, they can put this all legally binding on us, the only thing they can do is remove our account. But all in my mind is thinking of what's the consequences, right? Not a big consequence. TikTok can have all the power they want, like try to say whatever we do and say will affect our use in TikTok. But at the end of the day, it's really not practical, not really. Yeah, I don't see a purpose in just trying to control people from using the content. This doesn't seem to be a something that is beneficial in terms of making a profit. If I were to have a if I were to make something like a TikTok, I don't think I would restrict other people's use of social media, really. Right? If we want to post all the same content in all other social medias, we should be, free to do so. Right? Because I believe there's no monetization reasons being involved in it, unlike Twitch, right? Twitch affiliates. So yeah, the entire thing here, user content or content section 7, is pretty biased. Almost draconian, actually. Anyhow, where have I stopped? You warn that any such contribution does comply with these standards, and you will be liable to us and indemnify us for any breach of that warranty. This means you will be responsible for any loss or damage we suffer as a result of your breach of warranty. I don't think so. Wow, very biased. Very unfair terms and conditions. Any user content will be considered non-confidential and non-proprietary. You must not post any user content or onto the services or transmit to us any user content that you consider to be confidential or proprietary. Will be considered non-confidential and non-proprietary. This word is being used often. From my understanding, it means no ownership or something like that. Non-proprietary goods do not have the name. What is non-proprietary? It means there's no brand or something. What does proprietary mean in the first place? Relating to an owner or ownership. Yeah, so okay. This is not making me comfortable with TikTok. It's not making me so comfortable with TikTok. So what this means is non-confidential and non-proprietary. So meaning whatever you post up on TikTok, it means it is not private. Of course, whatever you put out in on TikTok publicly, it's definitely not a secret. But any user content, let me see this. User content, does user content include personal information? May be permitted to upload, post, or transmit, such as via a stream. Oh yeah, TikTok can stream. You can stream on TikTok, or otherwise make available content through the services, including without limitation, any text, photographs, user video, sound recordings, and any musical works embodied therein. I will have to look into their privacy policy. But reading through this alone, it's like I feel like I don't feel safe putting information in my information in TikTok. My private information, at least. Right, because they're saying I don't own my stuff and all that thing, all the thing. It's for people like me, who is very concerned with terms and conditions. It turns me off. When you submit user content through services you create and represent, you own that user content, or you have received all necessary permission to transform or are authorized by the owner of any part of the content submitted to the services, must be from services to other third-party platforms and or adopt any blah 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 blah. Okay, not really useful, but yeah. If you only own the rights in and to a sound recording, but not the underlying musical works embodied in such sound recordings, then you must not post such sound recordings to the service unless you have all the permissions, clearance from, or are authorized by the owner of any part of the content to submit to the services. This is fair. You or the owner of your user content still own the copyright in user content sent to us, but by submitting user content via the service, you hereby grant us an unconditional, irrevocable, non-exclusive, royalty-free, fully transferable, perpetual worldwide license to use, modify, adapt, reproduce, make derivative works of, publish and or transmit and or distribute and or to authorize other users of the services and other third parties to view, access, use, download, modify, adapt, reproduce, make derivative works of, publish and or transmit your user content in any format or and on any platform, either now known or hereinafter invented. I mean, this is fair. TikTok is full of remixes of people reacting to each other and such, so to have this allowed makes sense, even though it sounds very, very scary, right? You further grant us a royalty-free license to use our username, image, voice, and likeness to identify you as the source of any of your user content, right? Makes sense. It's fair enough for me. For the avoidance of doubt, the rights granted in the preceding paragraphs of this section include but are limited to the right to reproduce sound recordings and make mechanical reproduction of the musical works embodied in such sound recordings and publicly perform and communicate to the public sound recordings and the musical works embodied therein, all on a royalty-free basis. This means that you are granting us the right to use your user content without the obligation to pay royalties to any third party, including but not limited to a sound recording copyright owner, example, a recording label, a musical work copyright owner, example, a music publisher, a performing rights organization, example, ASCAP, BMI, SESAC, etc., etc. A pro, okay, a sound recording pro, sound exchange, any unions or guilds, engineers, producers, or other royalty participants involved in the creation of the user content. Very thorough, but yeah, not really something we should be surprised that whatever you put inside here, especially music, right? TikTok has a lot of like videos with music playing as a ambience or part of the video sketch, whatever. You definitely have to give all the rights to them. At least from what I can see, TikTok is very concerned with music copyright. Specific rules for musical works and for recording artists. If you are a composer or author of a musical work and are affiliated with the pro, then you must notify your pro of the royalty-free license you granted through these terms in our user content to us. You are solely responsible for ensuring your compliance with relevant pro's reporting obligations. If you have assigned your rights to a music publisher, then you must obtain the consent of such music publisher to grant the royalty-free licenses set forth in these terms in your user content, or have such music publisher enter into these terms with us. Just because you authored a musical work Wrote a song does not mean you have the right to grant us license in these terms. If you are recording artists under contract with a record label, you are solely responsible for ensuring that your use of the services is in compliance with any contractual obligations you may have to your record label, including if you create any new recordings through the services that you may be claimed by your label. Yep, they're very thorough, very thorough in making sure that whatever music you posted on TikTok is copyright infringement free. Through to the audience rights, all of the rights you grant in your user content in these terms are provided on a through to the audience basis, meaning the owners or operators of third-party services will not have any separate liability to you or any other third party for user content posted or used on such third-party services via the services. Good luck trying to do that. Basically, that saying is owners of operators of third-party services will not have any separate to you and any. Well, what they're trying to say is, if the owners get sued, you get sued, everyone gets sued for putting out something in TikTok. Man, good luck with this. Very biased. Waiver of rights to user content. By posting user content through the services, you waive any rights to prior inspection or approval of any marketing or promotional materials related to such user content. You also waive any all rights of privacy, publicity, or any other rights of a similar nature in connection with your user content or any portion thereof. To the extent any moral rights are non-transferable or assignable, you hereby waive any agree to never assert any on all moral rights or to support, maintain, or permit any action based on any moral rights that you may have in or with respect to any user content you post to the or through the services. Wow. It's like selling your soul to TikTok. It's like selling your soul to TikTok. They're basically, yeah, if you want to use TikTok, you have nothing. You have nothing. You can't benefit anything other than your 15 minutes of fame or something like that, or more accurately, 1 minute fame. But yeah, this is very bad. Really deterring me from using TikTok. Even though, you know, it's the most used services, this is not helping me want to use it. You know, at the start, oh yeah, they're very protective of people, but oh no, other than that, everything is bad. Everything is bad. We also have the right to disclose your identity to any third party who is claiming that any user content was uploaded by you to our service constitutes a violation of their intellectual properties rights or of their rights to privacy. That's fair. That's fair. We or authorized third parties reserve the right to cut, crop, edit, or refuse to publish your content at our or their sole discretion. We have the right to remove, disallow, block, or delete any posting you make on our services if, in our opinion, your post does not comply with the content standards that are at your access to and use of our services above. In addition, we have the right, but not the obligation, in our sole discretion to remove, disallow, block, or delete any user content, 1, that we consider to violate these terms, or 2, in response to complaints from other users or third parties, with or without notice, and without any liability to you. As a result, we recommend that you save copies of any user contents that you post to the services on your personal devices in the event that you want to ensure that you have permanent access to copies of such user content. We do not guarantee the accuracy, integrity, appropriateness, or quality of any user content, and under no circumstances we will be liable in any way for any user content. Yes. Well, this is not good. We accept no liability in respect of any content. You control whether your user content is made publicly available on the services to all other users of the services or available to people you approve. To restrict access to your user content, you should select the privacy setting available within the platform. Okay, we accept no liability in respect of any content submitted by users and published by us or by authorized third parties. If you find inappropriate content that violates our community guidelines or have any other issues you would like to raise, you can send us a report. Right, standard things. TikTok takes reasonable measures to expeditiously remove from our services any infringing material that we may become aware of. It's TikTok's policy in appropriate circumstances that at its discretion to disable or terminate the accounts of users of the services who repeatedly infringe copyrights or intellectual property rights of others. While our own staff is continually working to develop and evaluate our own product ideas and features, we pride ourselves on paying close attention to the interests, feedbacks, comments, and suggestions we receive from the user community. If you choose to contribute by sending us or our employees any ideas for products, services, features, modifications, enhancements, content, refinements, technologies, content or offerings, such as audio, visual, games, or other types of content, promotions, strategies, or product feature names, or any related documentation, artwork, computer code, diagrams, or other materials, collectively feedback. Yes, that's a lot of things. Then, regardless of what your accompanying communication may say, the following terms will apply so that the future misunderstandings can be avoided. Accordingly, by sending feedback to us, you agree that TikTok has no obligation to review, consider, or implement your feedback, or to return to you or part of any feedback for any reason. Feedback is provided on a non-confidential basis. We are not under any obligation to keep any feedback you send confidential or to refrain from using or disclosing it in any way. And you irrevocably grant us perpetual and unlimited permission to reproduce, distribute, create derivative works of, modify, publicly perform, including on a thorough to the audience basis, communicate to the public, make available public display, and otherwise use and exploit the feedback and derivatives thereof of any purpose, without restriction, free of charge, and without attribution of any kind, including by making, using, selling, offering for sale, importing, and promoting commercial products and services that incorporate or embody feedback, whether in whole or in part, and whether as provided or as modified. Yep, a lot of words, a lot of no full stops. Suffice to say, this part is about giving feedback to TikTok, alright? So, okay, but they're telling you, by giving feedback, they don't owe you anything, really. It's simple as that. They don't owe you anything, they don't owe you money, if they do use your feedback, they don't even need to credit you or anything like that. So, yeah. I mean, it should be obvious, but I guess you have to put it very specifically for some reason, I guess. Probably to avoid some sort of consumer protection laws. That's all what I can see. Why you're putting this? I mean, customers or consumers, people will complain things via the feedback system, right? Might complain your service is broken or you're causing them loss or anything. So this is their way of like trying to say that. And of course, there's also the people who suggest good things that might improve the services of TikTok, and they don't want people to suddenly come out and say, you didn't give credit to me or for providing this. But again, feedback here, we have no idea what they mean by feedback. Is it through their reporting system, a feedback system, or just by sending an email, message, letters, in any form of communication is considered feedback? If that is so, then yeah, they are avoiding stuff. They are preventing to be liable of stuff. Not, yeah, all this is just to protect themselves. All these terms and conditions to protect themselves. The entire Section 7 is to protect themselves and hold a lot of power for themselves. And it's huge for a reason. And it feels bad for me. I feel uncomfortable after reading through all this. Indemnity, alright, I don't need to read this. Indemnity basically is, again, the same thing, telling people that they are not responsible, they are not liable for anything that might be their fault. Right? and exclusion of warranties. So again, they are saying they are not promising you anything, which again probably is unenforceable because of consumer protection laws, rights around countries, and as well as civil rights. Right? You can't just say you are not liable, then you're not liable. Even if, let's say, it's agreed in a terms and condition in a legally binding contract, there are laws that bypasses these things. All right. Limitation of liability, again, same thing, saying it's not my fault. I don't want to pay you anything. I don't want to read this again. All these contracts always put these exclusion clauses, indemnity clauses in capital letters, or except for in this one, in all capital letters, all caps lock. Hate it, don't like it. Other terms, yeah, so this, I guess this is the supplemental terms. These terms, yeah, the matter and information are governed by the laws of Singapore. Okay, TikTok Singapore. Any dispute arising out or in connection with these terms, including any question regarding existence, validity, or termination of these terms, shall be referred to and finally resolved by arbitration administered by the Singapore International Arbitration Centre in accordance with the arbitration rules of the Singapore International Arbitration Centre. For the time being in force, which rules are deemed to be incorporated by reference in this clause. The seat of the arbitration shall be in Singapore. The tribunal shall consist of 3 arbitrators. Language of the arbitration shall be English. Open source. The platform contains certain open source software, each item or open source software is subject to its own applicable license terms, which can be found at open source policy. Right. So apparently for most countries in the world, if you have a problem with TikTok, you have to go to Singapore at least first. All right, go to Singapore, deal with all the things, maybe sort of like this legal dispute. And of course, this is not really important. Entire agreement this constitutes a whole legal agreement between you and TikTok and govern your use of the services and completely replace any prior agreements between you and TikTok in relation to the services. Okay. Links. You may link to our homepage provided you do so in a way that is fair and legal and does not damage our reputation or take advantage of it. You must not establish a link in such a way as to suggest any form of association, approval, or endorsement on our part where none exists. You must not establish a link to our services in any website that is not owned by you. Because the website is which you are linking must comply in all respects with the content standards set out at your access to and use of our services above. We reserve the right to withdraw linking permission without notice. Yep. Nothing. Oh yeah, they have an age limit. Alright, good. 13 years old and over. Okay. Additional limits that may be set for in the supplemental terms. By using the services, you may confirm that you are over the relevant age specified herein. If we learn that someone under the relevant age specified above is using the services, we will terminate that user's account. Alright. The people who are 13 above can only use TikTok. No waiver. Our failure to insist upon or enforce any provisions of terms shall not be construed as a waiver of any provision of right. Security. We do not guarantee that our services will be secure or free from bugs or viruses. You are responsible for configuring your information technology, computer programs. Yeah, blah blah blah. Not my fault if you get hacked or get virus or something like that. This is basically what I am saying. Severability, yeah. So severability here just means if any of the terms and conditions is unenforceable, it will just be make that part unenforceable. Everything else that's still legally binding, enforceable, will remain, effective. Questions, yeah, they have questions. So they have a feedback website. Supplemental terms. App Store. I don't think I need to read this. Yeah, this is not really right. Supplemental terms, jurisdiction specific. We have Brazil. So if it's we're talking about Brazil, there are two things: representation and assistance of parents and guardians. 16 but under 18 can only register an account upon assistance of your parent or legal guardian and represents and warrants that you have obtained assistance in using the services and agreeing to these terms. Or 2, if you are more than 13 years but less than 16, you can only use and register an account with the representation of your parents or legal guardians must be obtained agreement from your parents or legal guardians for use. Same thing. Why do you have to separate it though? Obtain upon the assistance of your parent or legal guardian and represents and warrants that you have obtained assistance. So one is getting assistance, one is getting agreement by the legal guardians. Okay. And we have what? Applicable law jurisdiction, subject matter governed by Brazilian law. These terms, their subject matter and their formation are governed by Brazilian law. You and we both agree that the courts of Brazil will have exclusive jurisdiction. Okay. India. Accepting the terms. By agreeing to these terms and by accessing or using our services, you acknowledge that you have read and understood these terms and provided your consent to be bound by these terms, blah, blah, blah. Why is this specifically for India though? Your access to and use of our services, including the purposes of creating and or streaming content and user content that is obscene, pornographic, pedophilic. Okay. These are extra things you can't do in India if you're using TikTok in India. But this sounds like, you know, would be applicable for everyone. Is relating to or encouraging money laundering or gambling or otherwise any activity that is unlawful in any manner whatsoever. Harms minors in any way, deceives or misleads the addressee about the origin of such messages or communicates any information which is grossly offensive or menacing nature, threatens the unity, integrity, defense, security or sovereignty of India, friendly relations with foreign states, or public order, or causes incitement to the commission of any cognizable offense or prevents investigation of any offense with insulting any other nation. Alright, this sounds like a very political thing, a very country specific thing. Maybe not all countries would actually be concerned about this. User-generated content. Hereby irrevocably waive any right to raise any objections, claim before any authority, including any copyright body in relation to the rights granted and licensed to us under these terms, including any right under the provisions of Section 30A of the Indian Copyright Act 1957 or the applicable law. The above waiver is granted by you in favor of TikTok and all of its group companies, affiliates, and successors in the title interest, whether existing or in future. Alright, apparently you can do that. You can do that in India, waive your rights. I mean, you should be able to do it regardless of what country you are in. Indemnity. In the event you are required to indemnify pursuant to the terms of any order or ruling of the court of law, you will obtain all necessary approvals, consents from regulatory authorities for the remittance of such amount to us. They are saying if you have to pay us for whatever, whatever we suffer loss, you have to go through all the necessary steps. Man, they pull all these things. But I think the average person would have no idea how to do all this stuff. But I guess, you know, for the completion's sake, They have to put all this stuff in for such a huge platform. It's understandable. Indonesia. Oh, by participating in the services, you represent that you are at least 21 years of age or married, or not under guardianship. Wait, what? Why though? If you are below 21 years old and you are not married, your account must be opened under the name of your parents or guardians. Oh, okay. This is interesting. Further, you represent and warrant that you have obtained consent from your parents or legal guardians unless you indicate otherwise. By consenting, your parents or legal guardians are agreeing to take responsibility for all actions in connection with your access to the services. 2. Any fees or charges associated with your use of any of the services as applicable. Hello, Arion. 3. Your compliance with these terms. 4. Ensuring that, hey Isaac, ensuring that any of the participation in services will not, in any event, result in any violation of applicable laws, regulations relating to child protections. If you do not have consent from your parents or legal guardians and your parents or guardians is not willing to open an account under the same, you must cease accessing to the services. Okay, this is interesting. So people below 21 and also not married cannot use TikTok if they don't obtain their parents or guardians permission. This is interesting. Why though? This is weird, especially the married part. So if you're married and below 21 years old, then yes, you can, because there is the age limit here. Services are only for people 14 years old and over in Indonesia. All right. How is this going to be enforced? Never. It's not. It's never going to be enforced. Man. But yeah, it's interesting to know, at least. Interesting to know. Legally speaking, via these terms of service, people from Indonesia cannot use TikTok if they are below 21 years old and not married and have not obtained consent by their parents. The limitation of liability set out in Section 10 shall not be applicable to the extent any loss or damage incurred by you as a result of all our willful misconduct or negligence. So that's that. They're saying some things we are liable for. Language. This term has been prepared in the English language and Indonesian language. In the event of any inconsistent or different interpretation between the English text and Indonesian text, the English text shall prevail and the relevant Indonesian text shall be deemed to be automatically amended to conform with and to make the relevant Indonesian text consistent with the relevant English text. Right, so this is not really yeah, it's not really, how do you say, important. UAE. Accepting agreements. Okay. Nothing really. Nothing different. Mexico. If you are under 18, you may only use the services with the consent of your parent or legal guardian. Please be sure your parent or legal guardian has reviewed, discussed, and agreed to these terms with you. Alright. Turkey. Contact our representative in Turkey within the scope of the law number 56151. Huh? This is strange. Turkey is just this. They don't mention what is extra. They tell you, yeah, we have our headquarters in Turkey. Just ask this dude here, this person, about it. Okay. Anyhow, that's everything. That's TikTok's terms of service. And I have to say, after reading this, I don't feel like using TikTok anymore. After reading this, I don't feel like using TikTok. I'm sure other people will want to still use it, regardless of how this entire thing is worded. You know, because more or less it doesn't hurt people. But I can't encourage that. I can't encourage that. If you ask me if you want to use TikTok, it's your choice. But for me, a lot of things are being sacrificed to post content on TikTok, is what I'm saying. All right, the only right you have is using the services. Other than that, you have nothing. Whatever you post in there is free for all. Everyone can use it, and you have no protection other than, you know, probably from harassment. But yeah. Oh boy, TikTok is useful. I have my second thoughts, but then again, I have been rarely using TikTok for some time already. So yeah, the only thing I will emphasize again is that apparently using TikTok, if you are using TikTok, you're not supposed to use it for commercial purposes. You're not supposed to advertise on your own in any way possible. So like doing sponsorships as such, or promoting certain products via TikTok is not allowed, according to this one. But yeah, how long have I been streaming? I feel like not long. Yeah, less than 2 hours. So thank you. I'm gonna see if there's any questions. Probably not. Yep. No questions. No worries. So that will be it. Anyone that is watching this via YouTube, my VOD. So yeah, thank you. If you have any questions you want to ask, feel free to comment down below. And if you like what you see, maybe give a like. And subscribe to the channel for more legal investigations. Right, next week will be different. It's not going to be TikTok. It's going to be something called Kick.com, an alternative streaming platform which provides 100% revenue split to the streamers. Right, it's not a monetization website. It's an actual streaming website that provides monetization features, and we'll see the terms of service of that company. All right, and see if it's reliable or not, worth using or not. Anyways, thank you. Take care. Stay hopeful, but be critical. All right. Bye bye.